Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zachary Michael, and we are back again because last night, and a surprise to I think most people, Amberlynn live streamed for 2 hours and 40 something minutes, okay? She was live for a very long time. She actually started live streaming before I started streaming on Twitch, so I caught a little bit of it right before I went live on Twitch, and then obviously I streamed for like 2 hours on Twitch myself, and then after that, I went to a friend's to pass out candy to children in the neighborhood who were trick-or-treating. And then after that, we ended up going out for a drink. And so my night last night ended up being way different than what I anticipated because I thought I had already had all my Halloween fun. But I do just want to give a shout out to Elizabeth and Elise who came up and said hello to me last night. It was lovely seeing you, lovely meeting you. And now I'm gonna get into this live stream. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes, y'all. I played it on 2 times speed, and it still somehow felt like an eternity to get through it all. It was, rough, dry at some points, not like her salad, because she drenched that in ranch, but it was pretty dry at different points in the stream. So I'm gonna do my best to give you the highlights. Normally I would say, hey, go check out all the things that I might not have covered in the live stream itself, and certainly do that if you'd like, but I'm pretty sure I took the most interesting things out from this whole entire live stream. So she spent a good chunk of the beginning part of it and throughout the whole live streaming talking about Chantal for whatever reason. You know, the woman that said she had cankles and made fun of her and that they allegedly hate each other or whatever, but apparently Chantal's still a big fan and watches her every move. And more specifically, I want to talk a little bit about how much Amberlynn seems to be deep into the conspiracy speculation reaction channels of Chantal, because she brings up the nut salsa from this weekend.
This whole nut salsa thing. Okay, I watch Chantal as if we've never been friends. I watch her as if I am just this random person, as if I'm not Amberlynn, as if I don't have a YouTube channel. I watch Chantal as if I just thoroughly enjoy watching her like everyone else. I watch reaction channels of her. I'm gonna be honest. I am slightly obsessed with Chantal. Not in okay. You guys are gonna take that weird. All the people who know about nut salsa, I feel like you guys also feel the same way that I do. It's just entertaining. She's entertaining. I don't know how else to explain it. But the whole nut salsa thing is ridiculous. And I'm probably gonna be the only person to say that, but I don't think that Chantal was lying about moving. I don't think that Chantal was lying about the salsa.
So the nut salsa thing is this big conspiracy that, to be quite honest, I didn't quite follow really, truly. I saw people talking about it on Twitter, but I'm not sure I even really understand it, and that's probably because I don't watch Chantal reaction channels. So anything I know about Chantal is just from me watching myself or seeing people talk about it on Twitter, right? So I don't know what the nut salsa thing is. All I know is that it is a conspiracy theory. It is stuff that you cannot necessarily prove, but there's a lot of speculation. And homegirl Amberlynn Reed is the one out here getting mad that her own reaction channels are speculating about her life, making up conspiracy theories about her life. And I'm just how can you get mad at people for doing this about you and your channel, but it's totally chill and fine and okay that people do it for Chantal? Honestly, I think it's fine for people to do it about both, even though that's not my approach typically to how I do things on my channel. I think it's okay to an extent. Sometimes I think people take things way too far. But, I don't understand how Amberlynn can sit here on one hand getting mad at her reaction channels for doing this shit, but then sitting there with popcorn or keto popcorn, whatever, with her pork rinds just eating up all the conspiracy theories about Chantal. On that note about Chantal reaction channels, there's even one point in the live stream where she's like naming reaction channels of Chantal's that she watches, and she mentions one and then follows it up by saying, well, I can't like this person anymore or something like that because I found out that they used to react to me.
I watch Kaya. Is that her name? I just find her to be entertaining. On nights where I can't sleep, it's just entertaining to me. She's a wild one. I enjoy her though. And it's unfortunate because it's like I liked her and then I realized, oh, she used to react to me. It sucks. It kind of tainted my opinion a little bit, but it's like, it's fine. I still watch her.
Oh, so it's chill that they react to Chantal until you found out that they had some shit to say about you? Make it make sense, Amberlynn. Your consistency is not great here. And on that note, she also offers to house Pete's and the cats.
Would I house Pete's and the cats? I would totally house them. Oh my god, poor little BBJ.
Which again, I think just plays into like all the various speculation and things that reaction channels are saying, as though like Chantal hasn't said multiple times that like Pete's and the cats will be fine. Not that I believe that, but I'm just saying like Amberlynn doesn't like these conspiracies, this speculation, and now she's out here offering to house Pete's and cats. Like, but yeah, she spends a lot of time talking about Chantal. Those are the highlights for me. I think the hypocrisy is what did it for me that I needed to highlight. And she also goes on to do a little bit of follow-up on the bottle copyright situation type of deal.
I did strike bottle because I did it in good faith. I don't think it's okay to take my videos right after I upload them and take a little out, maybe put a little in, and it's lazy. You're literally taking my video. That's like me taking, who do I watch? Learning to be Fearless. I take each of her videos as soon as she uploads them. I might take out a clip or two, add in a clip or two, and call that content and monetize it. It's absurd. I don't want any reaction channel to ever get their channel removed. I want them to keep their channel. I want them to continue making their money. If it's something that they're enjoying, I don't want to take that from them. I can say that from my heart. I'm not that person.
I take some level of issue with her calling it lazy just because, you know, I read the comment from her community tab post yesterday where somebody was claiming like, why does it matter? Like your content is lazy too. I didn't get the sense at the time that she really understood where that person was coming from, but it seems like she's taken it on as like lazy being a part of fair use, as though like lazy content is what makes it not fair use. And I guess I could get that to some extent in the way that like editing a video, reacting to a video, adding commentary, and truly transforming things can take a lot of work, but like there's no lazy threshold that the court system is using to determine if like you violated copyright law. Or at least I don't think there is. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but that's not my understanding of how it works. But also during this whole time, like she goes into this martyr Lynn situation where she's like, I don't want to make a channel lose their joy, the thing that they love doing. Okay, then don't. Either don't strike them or strike them. But this like playing the middle ground where like you're trying to get them in trouble, but you don't want to get them in trouble, but you're trying to get them in trouble. It's stupid as hell. It's so dumb. And I see right through it because it's really just mostly you wanting people to perceive that you're trying to be nice about this. And in reality, you're not. And you don't want to be. But you have this like tunnel vision thinking like I have to present this like nice air about me, when like I said in my video about this yesterday, what you really should just do if this is what you want to do is just own up to it, because there are a lot of people even in my comments yesterday saying like, hey, I think Amberlynn has a point. So if you would just own up to that shit and be like, yeah, I did it and I'd do it again, like I think people would be more on your side than you would think. At least more than they are in this situation where you're trying to pretend like you don't want to take down these channels and things like that, and you don't want to take food off their tables and things like that. It's silly. It's silly. Then what's your point? If you don't want to do that, then what's your point? If you don't want them to stop using your content, then what's the point of doing all of this? And she also says this thing of like, based on what I've learned.
And I know based on what I've learned that that's not okay at all.
Girl, what have you learned? Because you proceeded to not tell us a whole lot about that. Like, it's very unclear to me what you've learned about copyright. You just keep throwing it out there that you've been doing this research about it and you've learned so much. Well, what have you learned? What? Because it feels like you haven't learned a whole lot. And of course, like me, a lot of people are very curious about the Ozempic situation and want answers about the Ozempic situation because she has just not talked about Ozempic in like weeks. It's been a long time. And somebody paid a super chat and just said, address Ozempic. And so she did.
Address Ozempic. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Oh, this is like actually quite unfortunate. I had to stop Ozempic. This is something I wanted to talk to you guys about, like in a vlog. I get really nervous talking to you guys because I know there's so many people watching, over 1,000. But my doctor wanted me to stop taking it because when I got one of my CT scans, they were able to see my gallbladder. And she's very worried that because Ozempic causes I can never say it. Pancreatitis, or it causes a lot of people to get that. And I have gallstones. I also recently found out I have sludge in my gallbladder due to rapid weight loss. And when my doctor saw this and she heard that I was having pancreas issues before, she said that she doesn't want me to be on Ozempic anymore. And it was something that, like, I'm very actually upset about it. And I wanted to, yes, it's called sludge. It is. A lot of people who rapidly lose weight have sludge in their gallbladder and they don't even know. They don't even know. Yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, I kind of just wanted to process the situation type deal before I shared it.
And honestly, I do think that like doctors' ways of treating a patient can change over time and with new information. That's what I've been saying about this whole time with all the other situations that Amberlynn has had going on where she's like, I got misdiagnosed. No, your doctor got more information. And I think a lot of people, based on like what I saw in the chat and a little bit of chatter I've seen on Twitter, it's just that a lot of people seem to be like, oh, like, this is really sus. Why wouldn't your doctor have said something before? And I think I get that. I get where that's coming from. But it seems like because of this new CT scan that showed this sludge, which is just like, ooh, what a weird word, but sludge on her gallbladder, it seems like the doctor has reassessed and maybe decided that's not the case. I think that's how doctors work. You know, they get new information and they adjust the course. However, the one thing, and listen, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, I just have to say that because, you know, there was that one time that Amberlynn said I was spreading medical misinformation and I would hate to do that. So this is just me trying to understand the situation. But what I really, truly, honestly don't understand is the part where the sludge was allegedly caused by like rapid weight loss, because listen, I firmly believe and have said I believe that she has lost this weight over time. She's been talking about this like 100 pounds she lost over the past year or something like that. But I'm like, what about that was rapid? Like, is rapid subjective here? Like, I'd like to know how we're defining that, because that part I was just like, I don't I don't know that I've seen it rapidly do anything. I don't know that I've seen Amberlynn do anything rapidly. Nothing about this girlie is rapid. And she does talk in this part of the live stream about how she didn't share it originally because she wanted time to process the situation type deal. Which I do find interesting because she, you know, didn't take any time to process the several misdiagnoses. Like, you know, she could have waited until she got like a final answer to talk about those things on her YouTube channel, but didn't take any time to process that. Only taking time to process the things that like she knows is going to get her negative backlash. And in fact, so the whole conversation happens at the beginning of the stream. At the end of the live stream, she's reacting to Oh Lordy, It's Jordy, and he brings something up about Ozempic, and so she starts talking about it again, and she changes her reason.
And honestly, do you know what I want to hear about? I don't really want to hear about your discovering of keto and, you know, you making it. I want to hear about the Ozempic stuff, personally. Me especially. I
already answered this. My doctor does not want me on Ozempic. And I didn't share that because I knew that a lot of people would roll their eyes. A lot of people would say, I knew this was going to happen. Well, unfortunately, this is not my fault. I tried. I tried. I told my doctor it's okay. Like, I've always had gallbladder problems and stuff like that. But then my pancreas was hurting a little bit, and she said no.
So now she's saying, oh, I didn't share because I knew people would roll their eyes at me. Okay, all right, well, you should have said that to begin with, because I think we all knew why you weren't sharing. It has nothing to do with, like, you needing to process and everything to do with you trying to figure out how to put this, like, in a palatable way that you think will still make you look good on the end, even though you once again failed at that. There was a little section where she talked about keto, mostly while she was eating a big old steak salad on camera.
This is a, steak salad. And I'm about to put on ranch. Can I eat right now? Am I allowed to eat? Sofa King, I will block you. I'm not afraid. But welcome. I feel like I'm in the, what's it called? I feel like I'm in the presence of a celebrity.
And honestly, I already alluded to this earlier, but for somebody so concerned that she was allowed to eat ranch on the keto diet but not eat a banana, she really had just no problems soaking that salad in ranch. Just splooging ranch all over the fucking place. And I do have questions, like, whenever I first started on keto, I didn't stress too much about weighing everything out, measuring everything out, and things like that. But it is clear that she's, like, not taking any time to actually, like, measure things out and count the actual carbs in each serving of everything. Which, like, to each their own. I think that that's probably an okay way to get started on the diet. But you know, the keto police were in her chat in full force, letting her know all the ways that she was doing shit wrong, how she wasn't measuring, saying that there were too many carbs and stuff, which is exactly what I told y'all would happen. And honestly, I do have concerns about her, like, knowledge of nutrition and calories and macronutrients and things like that. I know she says that she knows all of these things and that, like, she's a nutrition expert or whatever, but, like, she didn't even really seem to understand that there's not a difference between the 1 carb in a serving of ranch and the 1 gram of sugar that's in a serving of ranch, which are literally just the same things. They just list out under the carbs where that carb or that gram of carb is coming from. And in this case, it was coming from a gram of sugar. So she didn't even seem to understand the difference between sugar and carbs, or the lack of difference.
Keto is about the carbs. If you want to know about sugar, it has 1 gram of sugar for a serving. A serving is 2 tablespoons. Ranch is in fact keto. Sugar is a carb. Cool.
But ultimately, I just want to caution people who are maybe not super familiar with keto that there really are many types of ways to do it. Like, for instance, she keeps saying that keto is anything under 50 grams of carbs. When I was doing it, I was always told that you had to stay under like 25 grams of carbs. And so there's so many different ways that can work for several different types of people. And the keto police tend to just believe that their way is the right way, which is not usually true. And very quickly, I just want to give a globe update because there was somebody in my Twitch chat yesterday that was like, oh, she hasn't made any progress on her globe. And it was really just because I hadn't shown it in a video in a while. So this one's for Diet Sodi, the username Diet_Sodi from my Twitch chat. Here's a globe update for you, bestie.
Do you guys want to see my globe? Ugh, fine, you guys begged enough. You guys begged so much. Fine. Let me show you. We are almost there, folks.
One of the other things that seemed to be, I don't know, a topic of discussion, concern was Amberlynn partaking in a Delta 8 gummy, which, by the way, is apparently keto, according to her.
So I found these things at the store, right? Should I say something? Yeah. So I found these things, right? Don't come for me. Have you guys ever heard of Delta 8 gummies? So, these are keto. I'll be right back. Wait, wrong way. We're beezing now.
Honestly, her feeling like she had to eat the legal Delta 8 gummy off camera, so she did the whole thing with her desk, was just so funny to me and so silly and so stupid. But also, she does take some time to discuss why she's taking the gummies.
I take these gummies because they're illegal. And they get me, it takes a little bit. They haven't hit me yet. This is just me being naturally me. Because like I said, me and my psychiatrist, I don't know if you guys heard me, we are messing with my medicine. So I am going through manic episodes. They're not as bad.
And in general, I have a lot of questions if she's talked to her psychiatrist about all of this change in medicine and also choosing to use things like Delta 8 gummies to manage some of her symptoms of her mental illness. I don't know enough about it to know how that plays into like all the medicines she might be taking. I would assume that it would be helpful information for like a psychiatrist to know that that's happening. So I'm hoping she's had those conversations. It's obviously hard for us to say since we're not privy to that. It happens off camera. And I'm sure she would never tell us about it, but it does seem concerning to me that she is struggling with manic episodes and, trying to self-medicate through things like gummies and things like that when she really should just probably be focused on figuring out what's going on with her psychiatrist. But again, I'm not a medical professional. That's just my general first gut reaction to seeing all of that going on. There was one point where somebody in the chat had something to say about like Amberlynn. It felt like she was like trying too hard. And Amberlynn's response I thought was interesting at best. I've said interesting a lot today, but it was just a weird way to respond to such a thing.
I hate when she's like this, trying so hard. I love that for me because this is me naturally. And when I read things like that, it just makes me realize that you guys don't know me. And it's like, even when I show my true self, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways.
Like, why do you seem so proud that your audience doesn't really know the real you when allegedly your whole channel is supposed to be about your life. like I feel like that means that what you've shown to your audience is inauthentic and not reflective of who you are. And I feel like you said all of that to try to get like some kind of like gotcha moment with your audience, but all it did was make you look fake as fuck. One other major thing that happened during the live stream was Amberlynn discussing the YouTube channel The Narc Alert, which I had to be honest, like all reaction channels, I'm really not familiar with. Honestly, I just don't know a lot about them, but Amberlynn had a lot to say about this person being a narcissist.
Narc Alert is a narcissist. It is so beautiful. It's almost like art. To call your sister a narcissist, to have a whole channel calling Amberlynn Reid a narcissist while being a narcissist. It's almost like art. It's truly, but it's the art that you don't want to buy. Like, she's fucking insane. Sorry. Like, straight up narcissism. Most reaction channels have, you know, a lot of narcissistic tendencies, I'm not gonna lie. So,
which I do find interesting because Amberlynn has always gotten upset in the past when people have like tried to diagnose her as a narcissist. So like, I don't know, this is gonna be a little bit of a pattern of behavior for Amberlynn where she like does the thing that she doesn't like that people do to her. Because at some point somebody in her chat lets her know that the Narc Alert had a heart attack, and Amberlynn's response was really uncomfortable, rude, and just not very sensitive.
The Narc Alert had a heart attack. Have some sympathy. Sorry, I'm trying to find my sympathy bone. My sympathy. I'm sorry. I don't care. I want you guys to go look at the shit that she talked about my lung. I want you to go look. I want you to go look. So I decided to pull a fast one. And I just wanted to see how you guys would react. And I was right. So, of course I feel bad about it. That doesn't take away the fact that she is a narcissist. And I hope that she's okay. But I'm just saying, you can't expect kindness all the time when you say horrible things about me. Like, it just doesn't add up.
And she ends up playing it off that, like, she totally intended to do that as some kind of, like, I don't know, like, gotcha moment. She really thinks she's having all these gotcha moments where she's, like, really putting people in their place. But yeah, she tries to say that she was doing something along those lines. And in fact, she also made a community tab post where she further elaborated that, so I'll read that to you right now. Give me just a second to pull it up. She said, regarding the heart attack situation during my live stream, I was being ironic in the way that reaction channels are, especially Pulpy Syntax, to give an example, where they talked very negatively about my lung issues and health issues in general. I constantly talk about sympathy and how reaction channels have zero sympathy for me and Chantal. I was purposely doing it. Purposely acting like them. That's why I sat there silent and said I was looking for my sympathy bone. The way that I assume people would react towards reaction channels is the very way people came out and stuck up for Narc Alert. I'm glad that people did stick up for her. It's a shame that people lose that respect when it is reaction channels doing the whole, oh, well, about her lung, it's her fault, or making jokes about my dangling lung, or throwing cancer in my face. The list can go on. I, without a doubt, should have made my point in a different way because, trust me, I'm not that cold-hearted bitch. I wanted to act like the very people who react to me daily, and I did it in poor taste and at someone else's expense, and for that, I'm sorry. I disagree with what I did and how I let my pride to prove a point distract me from who I really am and how I truly wanted to respond. Well, first of all, obviously writer Lynn has such a way with words. I disagree with what I did and how I let my pride to prove a point. Perfect. Perfectly said. Perfectly stated. Very eloquent. Eloquent Lynn. Love to see it. But besides the point, I also just want to say, like, she talks about her dangling lung or whatever. Were she and wifey not just cracking the fuck up together in a video about her fucking dangling ankle? Were they not just laughing about that? It seems like it's only rude or mean for other people to talk about dangling anything. And that's not to say, like, maybe that's her way of processing and dealing with it. But it's just like, girl, you were just laughing about that. Now we're not allowed to laugh about that with you? I don't understand. And on top of that, you know, I don't think it's always been the case, especially, I guess what I can really speak to was when Amberlynn announced that she had cancer. You know, all of the reaction channels I kept up with at the time were all very, like, respectful, understanding, concerned, sympathetic. Even a lot of us took, like, time away from reacting to her or talking about her or wouldn't talk about the cancer stuff specifically. And obviously that's not everybody, and obviously there probably were some people that were, like, shitty to her. But I think that's what I struggle with, and, like, her logic and reasoning here is that she's looping everybody who does reaction content to her into this group. And she thinks that because some people do that that's one, what everybody does, and two, makes it appropriate for her to do that as well. And I don't understand, like, what her reasoning is behind this, like, idea that, you know, in order to get back at people, she's gonna treat people the way that they treat her. I'm like, have you never heard of, like, the golden rule of, like, where you treat people the way you want to be treated? Like, you don't want to be treated that way. I don't understand why you're treating other people that way. But this is something that Amberlynn does a lot. She lashes out because she thinks that, you know, it's fine. I'm gonna be mean and rude because people are mean and rude to me. And you just don't have to do that. I understand where it's coming from. I understand the urge to respond that way to people who are being nasty to you. But I'm also saying, like, you have a choice for how you want to respond, how you want to take on that energy. And you don't have to do it, especially because it's, like, really, I think, the minority of reaction channels, at least. Although I really, you know, it's been a long time since I kept up with them, which is why I can really only speak to, like, the cancer times. But I would guess that it's a minority of reaction channels specifically. Now, I'm not talking about people in your comments. I'm not talking about people in the comments of reaction channels. I'm saying, like, reaction channels specifically. I would guess it's, like, a minority of them that are just, like, willy-nilly not caring about your health. And I can at least say that from my perspective because I am very concerned about your health and I hope you are taking it seriously. And then the last thing that I just want to point out is at the very end of her live streaming, she decided she wanted to once again attempt to be a reaction channel. And it was so cringe watching her gnaw on a pork rind and react to herself.
A liar, I'm not a deceiver, and I don't manipulate people. In my opinion, I am misunderstood. I've also been given several chances to prove myself. I'm the girl who buys tons of...
And also she ends up ending the video because it's so boring to her.
So, this video is boring.
And girl, you better transform that content, girly. You better get to transforming. Which is funny because she does ask a question about how, like, reaction channels do it. Like, how do they find ways to react to boring content?
Damn, I can't even... How do y'all react? Like, I'm talking to reaction channels. How do you do it?
And it's almost as if it does actually take some level of, like, skill, talent, wit, creativity to take something that might not necessarily seem super entertaining and make it entertaining. It's kind of crazy how much talent and energy it takes to actually make transformative, entertaining content. But yeah, that was basically what I saw as highlights from that live stream. Those were the things that seemed interesting to me or worth talking about. Let me know if I missed anything from the live stream in the comments down below, because I was trying my best. I was trying my best to focus on it, and it was difficult. And on one other real quick note, I saw on Twitter this morning, actually, so Barbecue Chicken tweeted something saying like, oh, Zach is ignoring Amberlynn in his live stream chat. And I was like, was I? Was she in my Twitch chat? Did I go live on YouTube and just not remember? I did have a couple drinks last night, but she was really talking about Pulpy Syntax, who was reacting to the live stream. And I guess Amberlynn's trying to get attention from reaction channels. And I do just have to say, like, I'm not a speculative girly, but it does feel like she's trying to drum up some kind of drama and attention with people right now, based on like the striking of Bottle and now going into people's live streams and trying to engage with them there. And I think it's because she knows like these past few videos have been real boring, and that peak AdSense time is coming up, like November, December, peak AdSense months, okay? And she's like, I gotta do something to get people to watch my videos. So we'll see what's to come. We'll see what's to come. But that's all I have time for today. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all of my social media, including Twitch, including my gaming channel, and check out my merch. All right? Okay? I love you all so much. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!